Okay, so in our last video we entered in formulas. Now we're going to be doing different functions. Now a formula and a function, while they may be used interchangeably, and sometimes I even interchange them, they're two different things. A formula is when you do something like this up here, equals a cell times another cell, or equals a specific number times a cell. That's a formula. A function is a predefined calculation in Excel. So for an example, last module you all used the sum function. It automatically knew how to calculate the total. You didn't have to say D4 plus D5 plus D6. All you had to do was type in sum and then the cells you wanted to sum. All you did was press auto sum. But we're going to be using a couple different things here to kind of change this up. Okay, so we're going to put in a sum. So we're going to click on D13 here. Now we could click the sum button. We could go up here to home, to formulas, and click auto sum and sum. That would work. However, one of the things you need to know in order to do well in your certification is to manually insert functions. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So up here in the formula bar, we're going to type in equals. That starts the function. Sum, parentheses. So this says that this is the sum function that we're using. Now we're going to figure out what we're going to sum. So we're going to click on D4, and we're going to drag D4 to D12. Remember, these are the dancing ants. So they dance around whatever you're going to be using. So D4 plus D5 plus D6 plus D7 and so on. Okay? What this says is we're taking the sum of all cells between D4 through D12. Remember, that's what that colon means. Remember to end your parentheses and then press enter. So this is the sum. Now, we're going to go ahead and take the sum of the F column. Same thing, equals sum, parentheses, select. This will take the total. And you might have noticed that this did it as well. That's because this state tax takes from the gross pay as well. But all it does is add the numbers. So it knew that we're going to use this as well. So Excel just went one step ahead of us. Okay, G13, we'll just go ahead and fill the formula over. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with net pay. Equals sum. Oops. Parentheses. There we go. So we're not doing a sum across all of these yet. Okay, now what you'll notice is we're not doing the sum of the total tax percentage. That's a little different. If we did the sum, we'd be adding up all these numbers. However, what we're doing is we'll need to take a tax percentage of our existing totals here. So all you're going to do is go to I-12 and you're going to fill this down. So it takes this formula and applies it with these numbers. So your total tax percentage should be 0.25529. And I'm just double checking to make sure my numbers are coming out correctly. Sometimes you gotta just double check to make sure. Okay. Alright. So that is our total tax percentage. Now we're going to be using a couple different functions. The average, max, and min functions. So the max function what that does, in a specific range, it figures out the highest number. Min will do the lowest number, and then average will obviously average between your range. So we're going to go to C14 here. And we're going to figure out what's the highest number out of all our dependents. So we're going to go to equal. We're going to type in max. Parentheses. And we're going to select our range here. So our highest dependents across all of our employees is this lady here, Teresa Khan. She has 3 dependents. Now we're going to do the same thing but for lowest. So we're going to go to equal, min. So we're going to see what the minimum amount of dependents are. And that should be 0. We've got 3 people that have 0. And you can actually set up really complicated formulas to where you can basically display the name of the person that has the minimum. We'll get into that later, maybe. Like I said, Excel gets really complicated, and it's really cool because you can pretty much do a lot of things with it. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and find the average now. So equal AV, and now if you notice, there's lots of different options we have. And again, we can do average or standard average. We could do average deviation, average ifs. We're going to double click on average here. And again, we're going to figure out what the average number of dependents an employee has. Then what a company might do is they might see the average number of dependents and then make a decision based off of that. So the average dependence is 1.22. Obviously, we don't have, one child and then 0.22 of a child. That's just wrong on so many levels. Okay, now we're gonna again fill these over. So we're gonna take C14 and we're gonna drag it over to J. Okay, lowest, same thing. Then finally average. Okay, if you notice, we are not doing that with the date because that again would make 0 sense. So we still have a couple blank cells, dependents. We don't have a total dependents. We don't have a total hourly pay rate. Again, it doesn't really matter in this one. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to select I-16 and you're going to press the delete key. That's because it just doesn't make sense. It's mathematically invalid. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and save. And what you can do is you can verify a formula using the range finder. And what that means is one of the more common mistakes made with Excel is to include an incorrect cell reference. And basically it just verifies to make sure that your formulas are correct. So let's go to I4 and double click on it. And what this does is it activates a rangefinder. It basically shows you, it color codes each one of these and shows you what you're doing in your formula. So on our tax percentage, if we look back at our thing, it's our parentheses, federal tax plus state tax. So federal tax plus state tax divided by gross pay. So this is an okay formula. It's exactly what we wanted. So it's very important that your formulas are correct.